Hello and welcome again to another episode of the SSF Romcast. I am Jessica. I'm joined by my lovely cohort.
Emma, hello. The way you said that was like another episode.
We're still here,
It's
going
still,
strong.
oh my God. It has been our longest season ever, to be
It
fair.
has. Well, saying
So,
that, it doesn't feel like it. Oh dear, I
no.
didn't mean for myself to sound
Yeah,
quite dull and
no,
bored.
it's all
Inside,
right.
I'm smiling.
It's what they say about the writing, isn't it? If you're bored, the reader will be.
Oh God,
But
my readers, bless them. If
they're
there's
not
a
so
spelling mistakes every page, I wouldn't be
bad.
surprised.
That keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, it really
So,
does.
yeah. So yeah, it's episode 16, which is our final episode of this season. So if you have
Do-do-do-do.
felt like, oh my God, is it ever going to end?
Do-do-do-do.
Yes, it's ending
Yes, it
today.
is.
So we are here to talk our topic of the month, which is
Topic of the month. Fan
fan
fiction.
fiction. I'm gonna have to like now you've done that with the gap, I can actually use that and I'm gonna use that at the beginning. I'll
Oh,
go back and edit the other
you just
episodes too.
I'm just going to
Just
put it on
stick it in
TikTok
there.
every week.
Yeah.
Topic of
Pick
the
up the
month.
month. Okay.
So
Yes.
yes, fan
So
fiction.
is it's a many-legged beast fan fiction, I think, when it comes
Ugh,
to how it is interwoven into the romance book industry and
I think just with
fans.
everything, yeah, I think I look at it differently now than I did when I first found it, I think, between
Hmm.
the writing and the reading person that I am. My Jekyll and
Yeah.
my Hyde sides.
Okay, okay. That's interesting.
Not in a
Um,
bad way either, just yeah.
yeah. Your perception of it has changed a bit,
Hmm.
has it?
Yeah, a little bit.
I don't think I was even aware of fan fiction really being a thing until I don't know, not fairly recently. I mean, when I say recent,
I was going to
time is a
say, when you
strange
say
thing when you're
recent,
old. Yeah, but yeah, I I have not ever read any off of the famous site. I did read some stuff off Wattpad, but it wasn't fan fiction
okay.
when Wattpad came about, when I was first sort of starting to write and looking at all of the different, and I think Wattpad had only just kind of come around at that time. I don't, this must have been like
Well, I was
maybe
going to say, I don't know.
2009 or
I was going to
2010
say,
or
I don't know
something.
dates of things. I know when I jumped in, which was it fanfiction.net was the first place that I
Okay.
found, aptly named, which was I stumbled in around the Twilight stage of things.
Okay.
So
Hmm.
that was 2008 for me. Ish,
Right.
2007, 2008. So that's when I first found it and then found AO3 and yeah,
But it must have
and
been going a lot
lost
longer
myself.
than
Of
that.
course, yeah. Well, this was just yeah from that when that blew up. So before there must have been so
Hmm.
many other series that people wanted to
Yeah.
tweak in such a way.
And it's funny actually because we're talking about it, and I guess we are assuming that it's fan fiction to do with those kind of server type places, the AO3 servers and things like that. But obviously, fan fiction is it's just a thing as well. Like you will like I think all writers probably start writing a version of fan fiction if it's just personally and not necessarily sharing it with a community. Because I
What?
know when I was a kid, probably one of the very first things I tried to write was like X-Files fan fiction
Oh, okay.
and stuff. And then like Dawson's Creek and like, anything I liked off the TV and I
That you
wanted
wanted
to
to tweak.
self-insert
Yeah.
into
Well, I
probably
was going to say
I would
Dawson's
just
Creek I
write.
wouldn't have changed because I was happy with PCB in there. Dawson could have just out the window, hit him
Well,
with a
this is
car.
it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that worked. Well, yeah, that was it. The whole point of it. There was
Yeah.
something that went on. You're like, I like it, but not that I could do better, but I think this would be better.
Yes. Yeah. So I think that's one of the main things about fan fiction for me that like there's lots of different areas to talk about which we can go into, but I do think like generally writers are all kind of fan fiction writers because
Yes.
even if they haven't directly written something like I was saying like when they were a teenager about a particular favorite show or something like that. They're probably at some point when they were loving books, they fell in love with a particular book and wanted to try and emulate that feeling that they got from the book.
Hmm.
So, like any kind of book you write is kind of a fan fiction to that book, I guess, that you fell in
Yeah,
love with.
yeah, that makes sense. Good. Yeah, that's kind of yeah how it
Yeah.
kind of goes for me. That I have this, I watch this, and then it kind of spawns the idea of something
Yeah.
else. That then yeah, it kind of snowballs from there.
And it is not to be muddled up with the topic of one of our other episodes, which is, like just because you've read a book, it means you're entitled to like copy it. It's
Yeah,
not
copy and paste.
copying. The point is that
Yeah.
you're redoing it in a different way that is
Yes.
uniquely yours. Whereas fan fiction, in the technical term that's recognized as fan fiction on these different sites, has different rules that apply, doesn't it?
Well, I was going to say you need to put your canon, don't you? So if it
Yeah.
if you, now I did I did loads of Avengers stuff at the
Yeah.
time when Avengers was out because yeah, because it was fun.
Loki. Yeah.
Yeah, because yeah,
Yeah. And
because it was
Bucky for you
fun
as
because of
well,
this.
isn't it?
Don't bullshit, Jessica. Because of Loki, and
Yeah.
yeah, the stuff that went on, and people had to be very specific of who was this in
Yeah.
it, was that in it, was it? I can't even remember which. So there was a load with Loki and Tony Stark because they just wanted them to butt heads. And
Okay.
I was there for that too. Yeah, so it
hmm
had to be very specific who you were talking about because if you weren't putting the right couples together, then
Yeah.
you were done.
Yeah. And that does, yeah. But I think that's the difference, isn't it? Like, so you've got a level of fan fiction, which is kind of just you loving something and wanting to sort of play in a similar playground. And then there's fan fiction, which is like literally taking those characters, kind of like when we were talking about with Britney, in the giving it a different ending if you weren't
Yes,
happy
yeah,
with it, or putting characters together that you wished had more time together or a different relationship, and just like making it work for you. Um, so yeah, but what's happening now is that the fan fiction is so popular that now those fan fictions are being picked up by publishers
hmm
and then published, which is a weird kind of grey area for me, I find.
There's a perfect use of the word there, is there not?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
It does feel a bit odd. I don't know. If I've read any, I'm not aware of it other than um I know Ali Hazelwood was a big fan fiction writer. But obviously she's not fantasy romance, but like her first one, her breakout hit, The Love Hypothesis, was a
Well,
Raylo fanfic.
she's getting there.
Yeah. And it does seem like when she did Bride, that was meant because she did a lot of changeling fan fiction as well.
Oh,
So I
did
think like
she?
she's moving into it. But you wouldn't read Bride and recognize any particular characters
No.
from Nalini Singh's work. Um, so her published work is really only like a framework, I think, isn't it? It's just a dynamic. She likes the Raylo dynamic, and that's what you see kind of
Yes.
mirrored in her work, which is what we were talking about.
Yeah,
But
which I
then,
suppose with the side changeling, you get the perfect opposites with the wolves and the
yeah,
vampires. It
yeah,
again, you
yeah.
have the opposite side of things, and
hmm
it's a fun thing to work with.
Yeah. But there's also ones that are a bit more involved than that. So this year, there's quite a lot of Dramione fanfics coming out in
Oh, okay,
traditionally
because I
published.
saw it at the time. I remember there being quite a lot of that
So the
around.
massive one is Manacled, isn't it? Which is a mashup between
Ah.
Hermione, Draco, and The Handmaid's Tale. Yeah, people are
Because why not?
obsessed with this. It's enormous. But it's like to make that publishable without it being plagiarized, doesn't like just the core of it have to change so much? Is it even going to be recognizable as what it was before?
This is the question, is it? I don't know.
It's, yeah. And I think that's one of the things for me with Like, so with fan fiction, so much of the enjoyment comes from it being characters in a world that's already there, isn't it? Like, and
Yes.
people being excited what you've done with them because they felt the same way, like you were saying with
Yes.
Loki and Tony Stark. It's like
Yeah.
there's obviously a lot of
There's
people that
obvious
wanted something
tension
to
there.
happen. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly. But like, so how, but you've written it and then used elements of the Marvel universe. Or maybe you haven't, I don't know. But does that, if the story's dependent on those, it's okay because you're writing fan fiction and you're not earning money from it.
Yeah,
But
this is it.
yeah, but then when it comes to it being published, you've got to change it, otherwise you can't earn money from it, and then it doesn't make it the same, I
Yeah,
guess.
you've become an entire new beast, haven't you?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Hmm. Yeah, I've kind of never really, yeah, I've never really sat down and thought about it that way because anything that I wrote off the back of something, it was always fan fiction. And
Yeah.
then my own ideas would come from it, and then I'd step away. And I
Mm.
suppose, yeah, that's where my brain would say, okay, it's not anymore because I've created my own thing.
Yeah. So did you, when you were writing it, did you keep it in a recognizable sort of Marvel universe, like what was happening in the films or things like that? Or did
No,
you just
no, I
completely
took,
take it
yeah,
elsewhere?
yeah, I took the characters totally elsewhere. I went
Oh,
kind
okay.
of, I went more mythical and took it away
Mm-hmm.
from there.
Oh, okay, cool, cool. Yes.
But
Well,
yeah, if you,
me like, I
yeah,
want to read some
no,
of this now. Where
you
is it? Where is
really
it?
don't. Yes, all these meek women working in libraries and stuff. Then they
Oh,
became strong and vengeful.
yes. Yeah. Well, we like that.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's also what else was coming out? The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy. That's another one. I've got an arc for that. So I'm going to read that. I had hoped to read it by the time we talked about fan fiction, but I haven't got around to it. And that's another Hermione one, but
Mm.
very different style, I think.
Am
Um,
I the only person who wants a Slytherin with a Hufflepuff to come out? That's
who would they be? Who would they
I don't
be?
know. I don't care, but I just want that vibe with that vibe to see
I
what
mean,
happens.
it's interesting to me as well because it kind of feels like maybe this is the only way people can enjoy that world
Yeah,
anymore.
nowadays, yeah,
So, like,
which makes sense.
yeah, because
You
it
see,
is tainted somewhat,
yeah,
isn't it?
it's very much so. Yeah, well, I just want I want a green dragon with a yellow something that boops the floof. That's where my brain goes.
Boops the floof.
Boop the
If we
floof.
gave
Yeah,
these like special titles, that
that's
would
what
be
we.
it.
This will be boop the
Boops,
floof.
boops the floof.
You would though.
Um,
Imagine the little hopper. Yeah.
so do you think you've read any like published books that have been fan fiction?
Well, the only one that I know of is Fifty Shades, which was kind of the
Yeah,
big one when it came out. But otherwise, nothing that I've seen
that's such a
officially.
it's such a weird one, really, isn't it? Like, because yeah, it's fan fiction of Twilight, but at the same time, it's only taking like a really basic dynamic from it.
Yeah, this was the
Because
thing
he's
at the
not a
time.
vampire. If Christian
No,
Grey was a vampire, I'd be more interested. So
he would be much more interesting. Yeah.
he would yeah, he would have been much more compelling,
Ah,
probably. I mean, that's pretty much all Edward had going for him anyway. So
he had good hair
he had good hair.
and loads of hats.
And I mean, it was very novel, the glitteriness. But yeah,
So this is why fan
the
fiction
pretentious piece
exists.
of wire in his
Yeah.
collar.
You take that away and then you make it better.
Yeah, yeah. So I read one, and I don't know, I wouldn't necessarily say you could call it fan fiction. Does it count as fan fiction if you are inspired by the vibe of something too, and you're not taking characters or world building from it?
I wouldn't say, because if you look at it that way, then everything is fan fiction from
Yeah.
some way, shape, or form or another. It's like
Mm,
I've heard a song. Well, that's fan fiction because it's based on this. What it's like, well, no,
yeah.
it's a line and a song. That's kind of
Yeah, because I was reading a book a little while ago, which was it was being sold as something meets Peaky Blinders. And I thought,
In the
sounds
Midlands.
cool. Yeah,
Yay!
the Midlands. We were talking
There you
about
go.
that, weren't we? There you go. You can have that.
Yes.
The murderers. Anyway. Sorry.
Imagine somebody with my accent coming up behind you with a knife. It's not
It
scary.
is. No, no, have you seen Peaky Blinders? It
I've
is
not,
quite
but
scary.
I've not, but I know how I talk and I know how it would sound if I
Yeah.
came up to you and
Up
went,
a
all
day.
right, up a day. What you doing? It's not going to get this knife in your neck. It's not. So you'll be picturing that like.
Oh dear. Because I
Anyway,
watched Peaky Blinders and I enjoyed it.
were they
So I
scary
thought
though?
that sounds really cool. Some of them were very, very scary.
I just need a
Um,
flat cap on, don't I? That'll do it.
yeah, that's it. Um, but so I went into the book knowing that, and it was actually really distracting about how much it was like that. Not in a like, not in a bad way, but it was distracting because I
So
don't.
do you put the characters into the book then, even though they shouldn't maybe be there?
That's what I mean. Yeah, it was a different kind of character, and imagining the type of, the actors doing those things was coming across so strong. I mean, maybe that's what they wanted, but for me, it kind of took away from me buying into the new world because it was very different. It had magic and everything like that. Um, so yeah, I wonder if it might go against it sometimes, or maybe that's just me because I'm just weird and contrary.
Well, yeah, I suppose it depends on what you focus on within the book. So I'm not really one who pictures characters so much. I kind of I
Mm,
read descriptions and then I my brain just kind of puts what it wants to in my head. I kind of
yeah.
the amount of times I've got to a thing and they've cut their blonde hair and I'm like we mentioned before,
Oh,
everybody's blonde.
yeah.
I'm like, oh crap, is he blonde? And I don't know, my
Yeah.
head's just done something. So maybe it depends what kind of reader you are with that
Yeah,
then as well.
maybe. Yeah. I know some people have said that it gets distracting with like every hero supposedly being, um, what's his name? Adam Driver. Do you know what I mean? Like in
Oh, okay.
contemporary, because Raylo keeps being used, so every hero is described looking like Adam Driver. So it's like,
So maybe this is a cult because I've never seen it. I know of
no,
them.
I'm not. Yeah,
Yeah, so,
I've
but
sort of,
I'm just,
I think I've seen the first one. Not when it got
mm,
to the good stuff between them, I think.
oh,
Maybe.
okay.
I
I
don't
couldn't
know.
even tell. So this, I watched the first Star Wars, like episode 3 at 28 or something.
Yeah,
So
I didn't watch them till I was an adult
yeah,
either.
so it's kind of, it doesn't really hit anything for me. So.
Yeah.
So if it was the Avengers or stuff like that with Thor or Loki or Hemsworth and Hiddleston, then maybe my brain would. If they tried to remake the Avengers like they've done with Spider-Man and just remade
Yeah.
them as different series, I would never be able to get the characters out of my head
Mm,
as I see them now.
yeah. Yeah. I can see that definitely. Um, yeah. So I think what else was there about it?
Well,
The
you did mention that film, and I went and watched that trailer, the Materialists, Materialist.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just things like that where you watch the trailer and you're like, okay, you got these two love interests and you you assume pretty much she's going to end up with this one, but by Jove, it would have been so much better had she ended up with both.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Maybe that's the whole reason why we've got Why Choose as so massive these days,
Well,
because we're
this is it.
all just like went through those love triangles and went, this is not fair. We don't like this. We don't want this. Let's all be together.
Yeah, but yeah, this is it. In the real world, I can't imagine anything worse than having four random people walking around my house,
Yeah.
leaving socks and pants and not cleaning the
They
shower when
usually
they've
got a
done.
cleaner though. One of them's usually a
Yeah,
billionaire, Jess. It's
billionaire.
usually
Yeah.
fine.
Wouldn't be in my house. I'd have two gamers and one nerdy
Yeah.
reader like me who just doesn't want to do anything but read.
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't even get like a mechanic who'd help clean my car and stuff. But yeah,
Hmm.
so in the pretend world, you can have all of these things where they are billionaires and they have wings and
Yes.
they can do the shopping without being asked and clean the toilet without me having to do it.
That is the beauty of fiction. Makes
Yes.
it a lot better. Yeah. Yeah, just two would be too much for me.
Yes.
I'd be like, no,
Yeah.
just give me some space.
Imagine how warm you'd be in bed. It's
Oh,
just,
I know. It's starting to get warmer now, and
yes,
like, do you go through this whole thing where you're not ready to get rid of the warm duvet yet, in
yes,
case the weather
but
turns, so
yeah.
you suffer for
And then you've got
weeks?
legs hanging out. But
Yeah.
this is, I'm writing one with four, and it's like the bed is massive. I'm like, God, imagine folding that fitted sheet.
Who
Just
do any of them change? Are any of them shifters or some kind of magical
no, I'm
creature?
demons this time.
Demons. So have they got any like appendages that grow that could
I
help
might have to
to
just add
deal with
that
the
in.
sheets? He's got extra
One's
long
just got
arms to deal
magical
with the
bed making
duvet.
quality,
Yes.
just a like a Thanos snap to make the bed.
Yes, please. Um, yeah. So do you think that the
I'm
come back to me, Jess, come back
just
to
gonna put this
me.
in now.
I can't wait
Sorry.
to read it. I love it so much. And they're going to be called ravioli. No.
Oh
There's
yeah,
two.
they
This
are
kind
now.
of leads in a little bit to my next point
Okay,
about fanfic, or my next question about fan fiction, if you can
get myself together.
get it together. So it is really popular fan fiction now, and like loads of people that's mainly what they read. Um, do you think because the reader kind of interaction with writers is quite different in the fan fiction world, that's sort of spilling over to behaviors of
In,
how
uh,
readers interact with published writers? Like, so it's kind of a little bit more collaborative, isn't it, in
yeah,
fan
so
fiction
people
world?
can put things. So I don't read it much anymore, but yeah, it used to.
Mm.
You'd have your comments at the end, and people would put, yeah, oh, this would be really cool if this happened,
Yeah, yeah,
and yeah, it was kind of like where you'd grow a story together with your mates when you were kids. It's like, oh yeah,
yeah.
write this line, and I'll do this line.
Mm.
Yeah, I think that it has kind of leaked into the
So,
world as it
like,
is,
there's
which
this thing, obviously, all reviews are your opinions are valid,
yes,
that goes without saying. But there's this, some readers have this idea that writers should be reading the reviews and reacting accordingly to the criticism in them, and like getting quite frustrated. Like they see them as constructive criticism, and the fact that writers might choose not to read their reviews at all for very good reasons, for their
yes,
mental health reasons, is like, well, you're missing out on the constructive criticism kind of thing. But it's
but
not.
but is it constructive criticism if somebody just wants to move a character one way or the other way? It's kind of
Well, that's just a
that's
personal
personal
taste.
preference, yeah.
And also it's not helpful because the book's been written and published, so it's
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, it's
For the
tough. Yeah.
writer, that story is done and dusted, and probably has been for quite some time. I mean, obviously series that go on, there's a lot of fan theory stuff that goes
Mm.
on, isn't there? And I think, didn't Sarah J. Maas start in fan fiction as well? She was quite
Is she,
prevalent in
I'd
fan
imagine, but
fiction.
this is, I'd imagine most writers probably do. There is something that sparked a something to get
Yeah.
you there. And though it maybe wasn't on Wattpad or
Mm.
any of the sites, even if it was just in a notebook, it's kind of the same thing.
And you can kind of see it like a little bit in how the marketing's gone, I think, with like this trope and micro trope kind of tagging, almost like how you market a book, because it fits very well on social media, doesn't it? You've only got a certain amount of time to grab someone's attention,
Yeah.
or a certain amount of characters. So if you go Grumpy Sunshine, Knives to the Throat, he
Yeah,
falls
you will
first
pull the
kind of
people
thing.
in. Yeah.
And that's kind of like how the tags work in fan fiction, isn't it? So
Mm.
rather than it being this whole, oh, look at that
I
flare.
was going to say, you're having a
Woo!
very spiritual moment
I'm
there.
having,
You've got
I'm
something
about to
right.
ascend. It was
You're
Lord of
ascending.
Darkness the last time.
We're going to
But
watch you
yeah.
ascend, mate.
Yeah. So like, I wonder if that's tied into it a little bit. Oh God,
You're going to have
that's
to pull
terrible.
that,
I'm
yeah.
just gonna
Otherwise,
go
we're
in the
blinding
dark.
somebody. It's fine.
I can't be dealing with it.
Join me. It's fine.
Um, yeah, so maybe that's come into it a little bit, like a different sort of approach to the readership and finding the books that you want. And so, like, maybe people who have been reading for longer don't connect with it in the same way
Mm.
necessarily. You know,
Yeah.
when you see like the trope is there, it isn't an automatic, oh yes, I'm
Yeah.
going to get
Pick up
that
and do
because
it.
that trope's there. It's like, what actually is the book about still? You know,
Well, I
who's in
suppose
it? What's going on?
what do you pick up books from? So what is it that kind of would draw you in? Because I don't really, so I mean, I put them on books when we do our podcasts and stuff,
Mm,
but yeah, I don't really search for them myself. I kind of go under the fantasy umbrella and then kind
yeah.
of read through blurbs and stuff. So
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. I have to have blurbs. Like I'll see people doing reviews, and if they're people that I know they have similar tastes to some of my favorite books, I'll be like, oh, okay, if they're saying that, that probably means it's
it'll
fair.
tick
Not
the boxes.
always, because
No,
sometimes it can be very, very different. But that's usually a good indication. But I can think that and then go and look at the blurb and still be like, oh, no, no,
mm,
that's not for me. It's got just like a different, and even like the way the blurb's written can affect me a little bit. Like I can pick up tonally. I mean, this is probably more so with indie books, I would say, obviously, because traditional books, often the blurb is written by the publicist. You know,
yes,
they're doing that sort of not publicist, the just the editor
yeah, yeah, they're
um
picking out the
for
bits
their
that they know are
marketing
gonna.
and stuff. Um but yeah, you just get a vibe from it. So I can't just literally just have a trope and go read a book from it
No. Though
generally.
saying that, I am loving the thing where people pick lines out occasionally and send one out and go, yeah, he grabbed it. Well, this is it. For Mother's Day, I got a severed head from the kids. That just like, yeah, my kids know me. It's a Lego dragon head. So yeah,
Oh,
if I read
awesome.
something about severed heads, I'm there. So
Yeah. I don't know. I've been burned a little bit on extracts sometimes because
oh, okay,
like
yeah,
it will
that's the
lead
best
you
bit in
to
the book.
believe. Yeah. And
Oh,
that
it's like a
I
trailer of
don't
a
want to see
film.
it. It's like I'm bleeding up to that bit. Don't show me all the good stuff. And also like it can make you think it leans more one way than it does, like
Yeah,
tricksy advertising.
mm,
I don't think that's anything to do with fan fiction. That's just a general,
that's just a general. Yeah,
that's
that's
just
just a
a
general moment.
general bugbear.
Yeah, I
Yes.
don't know, but no,
And
I do like it.
I think there's also something nice to be said about fan fiction offering, uh, like the community of readers. I think, like in the past, in particular, um, adapting stories that they would have enjoyed, but seeing more of themselves in them, like LGBTQI.
Yes, yes, the more diverse
Yeah,
side of things.
like yeah, seeing more relationships in them that are, what should be in mainstream, and more people like that. Yeah, even just size of people and races of people and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I think probably fan fiction
It
has
came, it's
has
it's
been
come a
good for
lot,
that.
yeah, it's come a long way compared to just
Yeah,
traditional stuff that's still being out there. Though it's
yeah,
getting there.
and showing that. So yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I haven't, like I said, I don't think I've read a lot of fan fiction that I have been aware was fan fiction first, other than Ali Hazelwood, which wasn't particular. I mean, I'm assuming that the plot of The Love Hypothesis isn't really anything to do with Star Wars. It's quite different.
I was going to say, I've not read the book. I have it somewhere, but I don't remember
Yeah.
there being lightsabers.
No, no, not that kind. Um, yeah. So
I know the science, so if they've made it
there's
fluorescent,
science.
I'll
This
I'll
is it.
very
That would
much
have been
enjoy
so
that.
cool. Why didn't they do that?
Oh,
No.
see
Maybe
that
they did. Maybe that was
when
what happened in the fan fiction.
but if you had white choose, you could have all the different colours. It would be so much more
Yeah.
fun. So that's
Hmm.
so please somebody get on the fact fan fiction sites and write me this book
Yeah.
with glow in the dark penises. Whoosh,
I wonder
whoosh.
what the next fan fiction thing will be then, because we've had, it's been big on Raylo and it's
Hmm.
been big on Hermione. But
But that is that if that's
what
so weird that that's
next?
new. What?
Yeah.
Yeah. What? Where are the couples? Where are the power couples now? Are there
Mm.
any? See,
I
I
mean, I
don't
have to
watch
say, after Game of Thrones ended, I kind of wanted to rewrite the ending to that.
what everybody
But
wanted to write the
yeah,
ending to that.
but then I thought, no, that'll take too much time, and I actually have books that
Yeah, I have
I
other
need to
books to
write
write.
that that I can earn money from.
Yeah.
I- Maybe that's a viable way of building a readership base, though. I don't
Well, this
know,
is it.
getting
Yeah,
into
as you
fan
said.
fiction. If you genuinely love it, not from a like a very mercenary perspective, I think fan fiction readers are quite yeah, they wouldn't like that. Someone coming in probably to try and
Yeah, just
just
stepping on their toes.
yeah,
We're not here for
just
them, Winnie.
build
We're
it
here
up.
for the
But
stories.
yeah, I can't think what's really come out that's been like a big thing that would inspire people, but don't
See,
know.
this
There
is
must
it.
be
So it's
loads.
kind of, we're getting to that stage, aren't we? So my kids who look at like Vampire Diaries, which is probably even old school now compared to
Yeah.
the newer stuff that's coming out. So
Mm.
yeah, it's going to be the generations below,
Yeah.
isn't it, that have kind of got their own little things.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, for me, like, um, yeah, my eldest is into Loki still, so
Yeah.
it's like
So
it
this
was
is,
my generation, her
yeah, it's
generation.
coming round.
Yeah, although she's not very, well, she's excited about the film, but because it will be a chance to see him in it and
Oh,
doing something different, but also,
well,
nah,
it depends what he's doing.
yeah, if it's
He had
just
a chair.
dying, it's not
Yeah,
going to
if
be
he had a
great.
chair and that was it, then no,
He's
yeah.
going to be stuck on that throne.
Bless him. One day he'll get what he deserves.
Yeah. And that's what the fan
It's what it's
fiction's
there
for,
for.
isn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah. Give the characters what they deserve. What? Yeah. But how how would you feel as a writer if someone took your characters and wrote fan fiction and
Okay,
changed
so,
it?
I would be fine with it.
Yeah.
I don't do films, I do music. And
Yeah.
there was a chap who I'm not going to mention his name. There was a chap who was chatting on a live on TikTok saying, oh, have I read the fan fiction about me? No. Ooh, that's awful. That's horrible.
Oh
Blah, blah, blah.
yeah.
And it was like, oh, no, don't do that. This is, it's like creativity. It's like when you see
Mm,
bands and then people do pictures and they do t-shirts and then, no, I can't. No, I don't like that. The whole point of these people being up on a platform, and we are on a platform, you're there to kind of aid people's enjoyment and to make their lives a little bit nicer. So if people see something that I've done and they're like, I want that one with that one and that one with that one, you knock yourselves out, you go and do it.
yeah.
I'm not gonna
You'd
yuck
just
your
be
yum.
happy that you've
That
created something that
that
inspired
yeah,
someone.
that somebody's out there doing that because yeah, it's
Yeah.
creatively, it's quite a hard. If you write, I don't know if you do, it is so hard to put your soul into words into another person's mouth. And then to
Mm,
think that somebody just looks at it and goes, "Bleh," it's just, there's no need for it. I mean, we've done
mm,
this before. It's just, yeah, if you don't like it, just take it and fix it for
yeah.
your own enjoyment. You don't
Mm.
need to. There's lots of books, there's lots of bands, there's lots of shows.
I think I'd probably just feel like a bit a bit gutted that I hadn't come up with the
Well,
idea.
yeah, if I read it and it's
Maybe
better,
I'd be
then
like,
it's
if
like, God
everybody
damn.
prefers it that way, I'll be like, oh, damn, I should have
Ugh.
done it that way. Oh well, I'll
Yeah,
take some notes for
there we
next
go.
time.
And then
Yeah,
then it evolves and it's kind of
yeah,
a big
that's
old
it.
tower of
We're all
awesome.
learning off each other. Yeah,
But yeah,
not
this would
directly,
would
but
it
not with AI.
yeah, would it bother you? Would it?
I don't know. I don't think so because it's like that thing of you create it and it goes out and then it's like a product that is interacted with. So you know that every reader is gonna get something different from it anyway.
Hmm,
They can't literally have the version that's in your head. You can do your very best with how you've written it, but it's still it's still theirs once they
yeah.
read it, like their version in their head. Which is why people get so upset about like adaptations and things, isn't it? Because they've pictured it differently,
Yeah,
and then
and
someone
he
else
looks
comes out,
wrong. Yeah, you
yeah,
look wrong. You
comes
should
out
be
of another
taller.
version. So I don't think so. I think I'd just be really excited that I'd
Yeah,
actually
I've
inspired that in
influenced
someone.
somebody's. Yeah,
It would be different, I think, if they took that and then published it.
again, this is going back
Maybe.
to meta, isn't it? If you take it and
Yeah, maybe.
you don't make it yours, you don't move it away.
Yeah, that's it. And if it was still very close, but if it was like just a dynamic like we were talking about, then I've
Yeah, you
nicked that
go for it.
dynamic from somebody
Yeah,
anyway. Like
yeah,
this is not a confession of
yeah.
plagiarism.
Without
What I
meaning
mean
to.
is, yeah,
Yeah,
like I have absorbed many, 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 many stories and probably put in stuff that is inspired from those in my books. Stuff that I've
yeah,
literally just enjoyed and gone, that was really cool. I'll do something like that in here because it's fun to write. So
yeah.
that's how
Didn't
it
what?
works, isn't it?
Isn't there a film? I don't know. Somebody could tell me. Isn't there a film where it's like, da da da, this is Star Wars in space, sort of thing?
Star Wars
That's
is
like a
in space.
tagline for a film, something like
Oh, yeah,
that.
yeah. Maybe. Yeah. And I think we're getting that anyway, aren't we? Like books are always described as stuff like that, aren't
Well,
they?
yeah, you sell me your book. It's this in
Mm.
space. It's this in a field. It's
Yeah.
dragons over there.
Yeah.
That is not going to sell to anybody other than me.
Dragons
It's
over there.
dragons
All right.
over there.
That will be the tagline of your book
Yeah,
too. We're
it's
just
dragons
busy putting
over
it
there.
together, your next release.
Yeah, why not? I would buy that.
Awesome. So, yeah, I think that's everything that can be
I
said about
think
fan
so.
fiction,
Hmm.
really, without me knowing, because I've not experienced it. Maybe if I went off and read a bunch of it, I'd have other thoughts too, but I don't. I haven't. So,
No, no, I was gonna say I'm good with it. I like it. I loved it when I read it and I enjoyed doing it. And yeah,
well, there's so many writers that have like practiced their craft through it, aren't there? Like you wouldn't necessarily think of like Naomi Novik, I think,
hmm
is a big one for it. She was very much in there, but her books don't reflect that, I don't think, particularly um away from it. But obviously she's an awesome writer. It's a place where you can write a lot. They're so prolific, fan fiction writers, a lot of the time as well. I mean, this is maybe why I'd not gone down that road.
but
Too
but
much to
how many?
read, and I couldn't
Yeah,
write that quickly.
oh no, at all. But this is it. If you're a person who loves to write but doesn't want to publish a book,
Mm,
you know,
yeah,
that's a perfect space for you. Not everybody wants to kind of
no,
deal
definitely.
with the
And
chaos and
the longer you're published, the more you can understand that viewpoint as well. Just writing
this
for
is
the
it.
fun of it and enjoying it and interacting with people about it, that probably gives you, yeah, as much satisfaction as it would for it to be in shops. I mean, although money's nice.
Mm,
So, yeah, if you get any.
yes, that's a
That's the
totally
sticky
different
point
topic.
about
Yeah,
being published. Yeah. That could be a whole other
that's it.
episode.
Yes, very much so.
But it doesn't really fit with what this podcast is
No,
about.
no, no, no,
That's,
no. We're
that's a
just about
different
the booky side of
podcast.
things, but that's fine.
Yes. Okay. So I think that's it, isn't it? We're wrapping
Yeah,
up
for this bit, we'll wrap up
for the
for the summer.
season.
I was going to
Yeah.
say, yeah.
Oh no, 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 we're back in spring.
Are
We're
we springing?
back end of May for 6 degrees of
It,
separation.
it's
Did you
summer to
know,
me.
Jess, or am I just telling you that?
As soon as it hits kind of end of May, June time, that
Oh, okay.
Whitsun week for me is summer because birthday's
Fair
coming
play.
and I'm there. So
Fair play. Yeah. I mean, yeah, to be fair, it's only, what is it, 27th of May, I think I've got projected for us to
mhm.
come
Yeah,
back.
yeah. I
That's
don't care what anybody
virtually.
says about solstices and rubbish. June, end of May,
It's because it's
it's
your
time for me.
birthday. You're
It's
like,
'cause it's
yeah,
my
it's
birthday. Yeah,
time.
yeah. I used to start the 1st of May. I've been better.
Okay. I mean, it's getting weirder though with the summer because summer's more like September these days
Yes, it
in
really
this
is.
country. So,
God, even November's lovely and warm sometimes. I don't know what's
yeah.
going on. Oh, I do.
Mm.
Global warming.
Yes, yes, that's the one.
And again, that's a totally different topic.
Yes, conspiracy theories and
Yes.
stuff. Not that global warming is. I'm not saying that. I'm
No,
not one of
that's
those
no.
people.
No, it's the
No,
other people behind it.
climate change is real.
The people behind the mask is what we're looking at for that one. But yes.
Yeah. Okay. So hopefully you'll join us for that when we'll
Hmm.
do 6 degrees of separation, which if you are new to us, and it's when we do 6 episodes about 6 different books each. We
Mm.
do one at the beginning, which is a joint pick, and our final book is a joint pick, and then we get there with the 6 degrees of separation with 4 books that we
That we try
pick
and
of
make
our
work.
own,
That we work.
that we yeah, follow a different path to get to the
Hmm.
same point at the end, which is life, metaphor for life,
Yes.
basically.
We all get there in the end.
We all get there in the end. Okay. Well, thank
Mm.
you so much, and we'll
And
see
we
you
shall see
soon.
you soon.